30 years ago, you took a real hard turn in life. It seemed like you drastically altered the trajectory that you were moving on for quite a while. And I'm very interested in how anybody manages to make severe life changes like that. I think that many people they believe that they have control over maybe their daily habits and little things here and there, but they don't have huge global control over their life direction, certainly not in the way that they want. Reflecting on that now, does it almost surprise you, sort of the ability that you have to be able to change that direction? It seems so unbelievably rare.
Right. So I don't know. I like to think everybody harbors it inside themselves. I can say, without going into the whole backstory, because I've done it before. I mean, at 19, I basically just looked at myself and decided that I was a loser. Right? I mean, I was able-bodied, which was helpful. I had a mind that could remember things, which was helpful. I was interested in a few things, but none of those things were setting me up for career or ongoing progress. And I had a lot of maladaptive behaviors, right? At the time, I was getting involved in fighting. I wasn't completing my schoolwork. I was just really in a bad place. And it was really fear and desperation, mostly fear, that inspired the switch. Along the way, I haven't talked about this publicly, to any great extent, but along the way, I hit numerous roadblocks again and again. Sometimes they were situational, like people close to me dying and the grief that came with that. Sometimes it was my own kind of feeling like I was getting pulled back toward a state of mind that wasn't healthy for me, and so on. But I think what I've been good at least good at, not great at, but at least good at, is finding really good mentors that would allow me to get to the next node, the next milestone. And I should say that some of those mentors were real people that I didn't say, can you be my mentor? Not that that would be a bad thing, but really tried to model my behavior after people that I respected. And sometimes those mentors were people that I didn't know at all. I mean, I'll just say this right now. I'm going to embarrass him by saying it, but I was a junior professor, meaning before I got tenure, running a lab. I had a bulldog puppy, a laboratory, and a home for the first time in my life, and feeling very, very overwhelmed and distraught. And I made many of the things that I heard Tim Ferriss say sort of central to my way of doing things. I didn't go 4 hours of work a week, but I did start to get extreme about organizing my schedule.
So he was a big influence on you, Tim?
Huge. And I know Tim a little bit. We have some common friends, and I feel very fortunate that now we're in touch because gone on his podcast and gotten to know one another, but just huge. I mean, like, there were no organizational forces in my life for me at that time that could help me navigate through this landscape of, I'd never been a professor before. I had taught it now. This was many years ago now, but I knew how to do science. I felt confident in my ability to take an empty room and a budget and buy the right equipment and do the experiments, hire the people. I had no problem with that. But how to regulate my time and my energy, and how to communicate with people. I mean, he had these like little things that I don't like the word hacks. I hate it because hacks implies that you're using something for a purpose that it wasn't intended for. That's a hack. But he had things like, instead of asking people, like, what's up when they come in your office, asking them, what specifically, what can I do for you? Like, what do you need? Right? Really cutting to the chase, because time became a valuable resource. Little things like that, tiny things on the surface that translate into huge conversion in terms of time and energy. And even just setting aside some savings and things. It's not that I'm not dumb about money, but I've never really taken the time to think about how I was going to invest money or do anything. So Tim did a tremendous service for me, without realizing it. And I've thanked him now a million times. I'm going to thank him a million times. Thank you, Tim. I'm thanking you again. Things like that. So selecting mentors. Then eventually, when it came time to start podcasting, Lex, whether or not he knows or not, just thinking, oh, here's another guy he's a scientist. He's at MIT. The fact he always wore that suit, that I'm going to copy him and just always wear the same thing because I don't have to take guesswork. I can take the guesswork out of it. There were little things that were super deliberate that just saved me time and energy. And I think that's helped me along the way. And then the other thing is, I have really tried to adopt this idea that when it's inevitable, and it will inevitably arrive, that stress grows us. that it really sharpens decision making. It really sharpens decision making. And, you know, if you have a very stressful event and then you recover from it, the worst thing to do is just go and keep going. You need to take some time and reflect about what led into that. So I think I'm very good at leveraging fear into positive change. If I really think about most of the major shifts in my life, I'm scared as hell to remain in this situation, and I'm very good at broadcasting fear into my future. You know, if I've ever been in a bad relationship, it was clearly, if I stayed in, it couldn't have been so bad that I felt like I had to leave. So I would broadcast and project, you know, how horrible it would be for my future children. And I might even build that up a little bit in my system. Now, one could say, well, maybe you could have navigated it successfully. I'm better at projecting fear into my future. And that has led me to make, I think, better and better decisions over time.